Incredible life and death situation for sheriffs in Colorado, and it plays out in seconds. A traffic stop turning deadly.
Sir, have you step out of the vehicle? Okay. Don't even move.
So that quick. The man with the gun, Paul Askins, he shot and killed what led up to that fatal shooting. Our affiliate KDVR is on the story.
The Douglas County Sheriff says this man with a gun in hand opened his car door, so deputies opened fire on him.
This is how he engaged us.
This all happened on August 31st in Sedalia. Deputies stopped this car for a traffic violation. During the stop, the deputies were trying to figure out if a passenger had a restraining order against the driver. Sheriff Tony Spurlock says when deputies asked passenger Paul Askins for his name, he gave them multiple names and birthdays. Then when he stepped out of the car, body camera video shows he wasn't empty-handed.
All three of those officers engaged the suspect. All three of those officers fired their guns.
An investigation into Askins showed he had multiple felony warrants out of El Paso County and a long criminal history. As for the officers, all are okay, and at least one of them had extensive experience in the department.
We had an officer that had a 2-year veteran. We had an 8-year veteran officer, and then we had a 16-year veteran officer.
The department isn't releasing the deputies' names yet, saying this is an ongoing investigation.
Back with us, former police officer, private investigator Vince Hill. Real quick, your first reaction when you see that, again, just illuminates how fast things can happen.
Well,
right?
Mike, that's why I always say nothing's routine in policing, especially in a traffic stop. It's the most dangerous position a police officer can be in. Not only do you not know who's in the vehicle, you don't know what's in the vehicle. And we see this guy had a gun there in that vehicle.
We've slowed it down to one frame, and it's what an officer may have seen. It's a picture. And you can see, I think we have that shot. It's a picture of the gun, and there it is. So you see that. I mean, is it that simple where you have no choice as an officer but to shoot in self-defense?
No choice, because what you have to remember, Mike, you cannot de-escalate deadly force. You have to meet it with deadly force, right? So the officer can't bring out a taser or a pepper spray, aspeton. You have to meet deadly force with deadly force to eliminate the threat, and that's what these officers did here.
So we see the gun, that's that. There's other factors here. Well, number one, you mentioned it. There's 4 people in this car, 2 men, 2 women. How does that factor in?
Absolutely. I mean, these officers were outnumbered. You saw the main officer, his backup officer, but there's 4 people in there. The chances are there could be 4 guns or even more guns in that truck. The officers just don't know. They just know they have to respond to that quickly, the way they did in that split second.
I'm going to give out some other information on this, and I think the question coming out of it is, do you know this? Because here's what we find out, that the man who was shot, there he is, Paul Askins, there was a restraining order protecting him from one of the women in the car. Now, as an officer, do you know any of this, or no? Or is that just too much in too short a time?
Too short a time. During that initial traffic stop, you don't know who's in that car. You don't know what's going on. He gave several names. And to add the fact that there's this restraining order, so you have this domestic aspect of this traffic stop, it was just a powder keg waiting to explode, and that's exactly what happened.
What kind of information do you get? Okay, it's traffic stop. Obviously, you run the plates on the truck. What else do you get before you engage people? And in this case, you know, obviously it turned deadly.
Well, typically you want to call in that license plate before you actually approach that vehicle to see if it's stolen, to see if anyone has warrants inside that vehicle, things of that nature. And then you want to approach that vehicle and ask the information of the occupants of the vehicle. And again, this individual gave several names before police figured out what was going on here.
Got it. Okay. And again, that quick, the shooting or the situation turned deadly. Vince Hill, always good seeing you.
Always a
Thanks
pleasure,
again.
Mike. Thank you.